Hello and welcome back to the Lumin Weekly Q&A. Here we are, on the couch in the study with the questions. So, this time the backdrop's a little bit different and the lighting is a lot more intense. It's actually a bit crazy. It might be a little bit too much, but there's nothing we can do about that. I decided to record it here today because it's way too dark in that room. I'm not sure if more of the lights died, but it's just not going to work there. So, I've got the questions and there aren't actually that many of them this time around. But, ooh, and the Chrono Trigger soundtrack is playing over there. I'm actually just doing that to drown out the sounds of the PCs here, because there's a bit of a droning going on here. It sounds a bit bad. There are 3 different computers, one over there, and one over there, and you'd probably hear it if the music wasn't on. If you can even hear the music. If you can't hear the music, then you probably couldn't hear the PCs. And that's a win-win. So, before I jump into the questions, I wanted to just talk about the whole Adventure Time thing last week. The translations. So some of you said I may have missed your languages, and if I did miss your language, then it's most likely because I couldn't get it translated. It didn't check out, and I'm not sure if that's Google Translate that's maybe just not working together with me here, or maybe it doesn't support some of the languages, the more exotic languages, but some of them just didn't work out, and I didn't want to say something that I wasn't sure was correct. I actually went and I copied every single one of them, pasted it in Google Translate, selected the language that you said it was, and translated it. And all the ones that I said did check out, so that's why I did those. If I didn't do yours, then you either sent me something that wasn't Adventure Time, or it's time for adventure, or it's time for an adventure. It probably... Oh, here comes Nero. He's coming to the door right now. Oh, puppy, you can come sit here. Oh, I see. He's going to the unimpressed chair. There he is. He's getting up here now. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. And that is an unimpressed Nero right there. There. Wait, there. I'm so bad at pointing. But that's him right there. He's not happy with us right now. It's only like 9 o'clock and he wants to go to bed. He's such a grandpa. He's such an old man. But anyway, okay. I don't blame him. It's quite cold. It's actually quite chilly. I don't know why the door's even open. But that's why I didn't do some of the languages. If you are really sure yours is correct and you would like me to say it, then you can just message it to me. And along with that, I must actually mention, because I keep forgetting to mention, if you want to send a question in, then just either mail it to talesoflumin@gmail.com, leave it as a comment, because I read every single comment and I take all the questions from the comments, put them on a big notepad and then mail it to my phone. Or you can just message it to me right here on YouTube. That's fine too. Any of those 3, they work. They all work. So you can send a question about anything. About gaming, about politics, about the state of the world, about life in South Africa. I say these things all the time because they're the most common ones. But it can be about anything, and I'll try answer it to the best of my abilities. You might not always get a proper answer, but hey, I'll try. That's what I can guarantee. But now, the questions. First up, from Love to Game for Life. He's actually been sending, or she, I'm not sure, but you've actually been sending some really good gaming related questions, and I'm happy about those. You're a boy. What's going on back here? Hey? You just chill. You can actually come sit here with me. Okay? So, the first question from him was, what was the worst game ending for you? I actually thought about that a little bit before I started recording, and it's very difficult to say because I finished a lot of games, and I honestly think that back when I was younger and I finished most of the games that I played, nowadays I start games and I don't always finish them, but back then I didn't really appreciate whether it was good or bad. I just played the game, finished it, and then moved on to the next game. But more recently, I gotta say a really bad game ending was Rage. And I don't know if it was bad per se, but I just didn't like it because there was nothing. You did this last mission, and then you got to the end, and that was it. There was nothing. Nothing really happened at the end of Rage. The little cryostasis pods, the arcs, they were called arcs, came out of the ground and it ended there. There wasn't a climactic battle at the end, and I don't feel it needs a boss battle at the end, but they could have just explained things a bit better, maybe showed what would have happened or what was going to happen. I don't know if they've got a sequel planned, but hey, the ending just didn't feel that great to me. So in recent memory, that's probably the worst ending that I can think of. Maybe further back I played a much worse ending, or like a much worse game that ended in a worse way, but most recently that's probably the worst one. And then his next question is tying in quite nicely with that one. What is the best game ending for you? I don't know. The first thing that came to mind was obviously Final Fantasy, and I'm talking about Final Fantasy VIII now. And I don't know if it was really good. It was very weird, but it felt good. At the end of the game, I liked the way the game concluded. And I think that was after you fought Ultima, or the name was actually something different. The name was longer. I can't remember what it was. Ultimisia? I don't know. Something like that. And then Squall like passes out or gets lost in time. One of those two. Okay? And in Final Fantasy, those two are very close to each other. Those two are very similar. Because it could be either one. You're never sure. But then they had this really cool song that played, and it was actually the same song that the one girl sang in the bar for Laguna, I think it was. The guy, he had a crush on this girl, and I'm not going to try to explain that, but the ending was really nice. They had a nice song there. The CGI was really good, for back then at least. It was really, really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. No, another one that comes to mind right now is Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. Now that I think of it, that's actually still very relevant, because then in that, Arthas, or was that at the end of Frozen? No, that wasn't the end. That was at the end of Reign of Chaos. And Arthas goes and kills his father. And that was actually really bad. The cinematics were amazing. Obviously, even back then, Blizzard did such good cinematic cutscenes, intros, outros, whatever. But that was at the end of Reign of Chaos, where he stabbed his father, he ran him right through, and he took the crown, and then he became the Lich King. Was that when he became the Lich King? I can't remember. But that was also really cool. So, those are the only ones that I can actually remember. It's difficult. I can't remember every single game I've played, but those were cool. And Deus Ex, one of the more recent ones. Deus Ex had a very cool ending. Endings, they were all quite cool, I'm sure. But the one I got was very cool, and it also concluded in a nice or interesting way. I'm going to put the sound off on my phone now because it's beeping at me. There we go. Okay, now, this question is from Bumfree, and he asks, am I looking forward to the London Olympics? I don't even know what the London Olympics are. Is that the normal Olympics? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ignorant when it comes to sport-related stuff. If it's the normal Olympics, or if it's anything like the normal Olympics, then it's the kind of thing that... I'm flicking his nose. He goes and licks himself on his thigh or on his leg or anywhere because he thinks he's got fleas, but he doesn't have fleas. It's like a habit because he had fleas, he kept licking himself, and that couldn't taste nice, licking a flea up. But now he just keeps doing it. There you go, now he's just unimpressed Nero. So you got a show going on the whole time back here. But when it comes to Olympics, that's the kind of thing I'll casually watch if it's on the TV, but I'm definitely not hardcore interested in it. So I guess that's my answer. Then, is football or soccer big in South Africa? Yes, very big. I think it would probably be, if you had to count the amount of people playing it, it's probably I would call it the national sport. I know rugby is probably the national sport, or cricket or something, but there are definitely more people in South Africa playing soccer than there are playing rugby or cricket. So it's definitely big. A lot of people play it. And I know that there are lots of clubs that play it, and South Africa themselves, South Africa as a team, not that great, but the clubs are apparently quite good, and they're very passionate about the game. Everyone in South Africa. So, I guess it's quite big. Then, do you like sci-fi films like Star Wars or Star Trek? If so, what is your favorite sci-fi movie? I've actually answered this before, and I'll gladly answer it again. Gladly. Blade Runner. Not my favorite, but the best. And my favorite. Both of those things. So, Blade Runner is absolutely amazing, and I do like Star Wars and Star Trek. I would probably say that I can't decide if I prefer Star Wars above Star Trek, because it's a very tough choice. I'd probably put them equally. For me, they'd probably be equal. And I gotta say that I did enjoy the reboot movie of Star Trek, because it made it more... I didn't watch the old Star Trek. And I know I probably should have, because there are so many amazing actors and actresses in there, and it was a game changer. It was huge back when it came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get it somewhere and watch it. I'm sure you can buy the whole DVD set somewhere for incredibly cheap nowadays. Or is it like a collector's edition by now? Is it like a collector's item? Is it super rare? I don't know. Okay, but maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. If I just compare the movies, then I'd say they're about equal for me, because I kind of enjoyed the reboot one. The actors that they put in there, the new age actors, the younger people, they definitely fit the roles that they were in. But then you look at the newer Star Wars movies and they weren't actually that great. I like the old Star Wars movies with Harrison Ford in. You know, that's the main reason that I liked the older Star Wars movies. Just him. I didn't like the rest of the characters that much. Han Solo, big thumbs up from me. So, that must answer your question. Then, from WowNo, if you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be? I don't know. That's not something I really think about. I would like to be a glorious animal that could go on grand adventures. I don't know. I think that most dogs, especially if they're like Nero, then they have nice lives. I like the life of a dog. I think Nero has a lot of fun. He has a good life. And so I'd gladly be a dog. Okay? If I had myself as owner. Okay, then that would be very nice. I know that's a little bit silly, but, or a nice owner. Otherwise, an animal that can fly, because I would love to fly, like a bird, some sort of sparrow or something that migrates to the poles in summer or winter. Who knows which one? Not me, but something like that, because that would be amazing. Flying, going on a grand adventure across the sea. I'd like that a lot. So, something that could fly. Anything. Probably more something like an eagle, or even bigger, that you don't get ganked by an eagle. That would be great. Now, next. What's new with Helen? It's actually Helen, and what's she doing right now? That's also from WowNo. I can't really answer that. She's playing some Guild Wars 1 right now over there, so I don't know if you meant like right now. She's playing Guild Wars 1. She's doing a mission with a bunch of heroes, and I think she's busy in Prophecies or Eye of the North. One of the two, because I'm not really sure. It's greenish, so I want to think it's Prophecies, but I think she's actually in Eye of the North at the moment. She said last time that she was busy with the quest that links Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2. Apparently they released a whole quest line that's set to just introduce Guild Wars 2 to Guild Wars 1 players. Who knows, but I think she's busy with that. If you mean in the grander scheme of things, then I don't know, that's not something I can really answer for her, but she's busy making a website. There you go. Not her own, she's making it for someone else. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Again from WowNo. How do you take the pressure? It's 26 days to the launch of Diablo 3, that is. I'm coping quite well, actually, because this coming weekend is a Guild Wars 2 beta event, and after that, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump till the 15th. It's not even that long. So, no, I don't know, I'm not really feeling very anxious or anything like that. I might be getting my hands on a review copy of Diablo 3. If so, then it'll be even less time for me to wait. But, who knows? I'm very happy that it's coming out soon, and I'm also, the only reason I'd be anxious is because I'm not sure the game is going to be performing as well as I want it to perform on my PC. I know the beta is not optimized yet, and I spoke about this in my previous vlog, I think, but they mentioned that it's not optimized yet, and they said they're going to improve it, and I really sincerely hope they do, because I had some problems, and I recently actually updated to the latest NVIDIA drivers. They're 300.02, I don't know, 300 drivers, basically, above 300 now. It's the latest ones, and they introduced adaptive VSync, which, honestly, I think solved a lot of the performance issues I had in Diablo 3. I had a thing with the FPS actually jumping up to 60 and then down to 30 and then up to 60 and down to 30, and that was really terrible to look at. Now it's fine if I'm recording, but if I'm not recording then it's not so cool. And I had these random like little spikes of lag, and I don't mean internet lag, I mean PC performance lag. And I'm assuming that's something that they'll just smooth out before launch. I'm hoping it is, but still pretty excited. I gotta say, quite excited. Then, this is from 1998 422. I'm not sure if that's the nickname, but it's a bunch of numbers. And he or she mentions that, hey Lumin, would you please try a game out called Dungeons and Dragons Online? Eberron Unlimited. It's an MMORPG that everyone likes. Even TV likes it, so try it out. We've actually played that before, and while it is a really cool MMO, I've actually got enough MMOs that I'm playing right now, sadly. I mean, I'd love to play all the games, but right now with Guild Wars 2 coming soon, with Mr. Pandaria beta already going on at the moment, and then I'm actually trying to play a bit of Guild Wars 1 every now and then, not a lot. I've actually got my hands full with those alone, and I could try it, but the chances are slim that I'll actually make videos for it. So I suppose that defeats the purpose. You know, one MMO that I was actually looking to try and play or try out again was Ultima Online. I'm not sure if any of you guys actually play that, but I've got this thing where I keep wanting to go back to the Ultima games. I don't know why. They were just so amazing, the ones that I played at least. I've got Ultima 9 standing on the shelf over there taunting me every single day. I walk past it and I think to myself, I should really be playing that game now. And then I want to play it, but then I just don't get around to it. Every time I install it, then it's a bit of a buzzkill because it doesn't look as great as I remember it looked, and I remembered it looking, and the systems in the game just don't function as well as they should. So if they ever make a remake of one of those games, then I'd probably play it. And funny enough, both Ultima 7 and Ultima 8 actually worked better than Ultima 9, which is sad because I kind of liked the whole story that was going on in Ultima 9. But anyway, hey, I strayed off topic a little bit. I apologize. So, Grumakai is the next question asker person. He asks, so since you'll be on an EU server for Guild Wars 2, what kind of server are you looking at? This is obviously PvP or PvE or something in between. And what do you think will be the focus of your guild? Obviously I'm keen on joining, swell the numbers of the Lumami. That's quite cool. Now I'm not sure if Guild Wars has PvP and PvE servers, because I think, as far as I can tell, all the PvP is instance in some way. So you'd go to the Mists and then PvP there, or you'd go to some sort of arena and PvP there, or you'd join a battleground and PvP there. So I think that all the servers are just straight up PvE/PvP. They're just both. They're just servers, basically. So, and Guild Wars, such a big part of Guild Wars is the PvP, so you can't just not PvP. Well, you can. I'm sure there are people out there that don't really want a PvP, but you can't make a server that doesn't support it, because that would be sort of, I don't know, cheating a bunch of the people that make characters on those servers, because they wouldn't have access to PvP. So yes, I think that said, I don't think there are PvE and PvP servers. I think they're all the same, and then it all comes down to picking one with a cool name, or picking one that a lot of friends are on, or a lot of people that I know will be on. Say for instance, if Total Biscuit, for instance, makes a Guild Wars 2 guild, then the chances are good that I'll just jump on the same server as that and make another guild and sort of link them up or something, because he's also in the game station. And I prefer if, because I know a lot of you people, most of you people probably either watch TB and myself, or just watch TB and a bit of me, or a bit of me and some TB or whatever. You basically watch both of us. Same goes for Jesse Cox, same goes for any of the other people that I watch and are in the game station as well, or whatever, or anything like that. Basically, we'll see. Closer to the time, I just hope that if they do pick a server, they pick one with a cool name, because the name means a lot. Okay, you've got to pick a server with a really cool name. But, sadly, those are all the questions. Look, it's blank. Those were actually all the questions that I had. Now, if you want to leave a question for next week, be sure to do so in the comment section below this video, or just send me a message. I don't know where you'd click to do that, probably down here as well, or send an email to talesoflumin@gmail.com. Any of them are welcome, all of them are welcome, and they can be about absolutely anything. Games, music, life in general. Just don't go too deep, because I probably won't be able to answer them properly, but I'll try. So there's fun in that, at least. But that's it. So check back soon for more. Sadly, this is going to be shorter because there were only so many questions, and I'll probably be releasing a few more vlogs this week. I said in my previous vlog that I got a lot to talk about, and I do, and I don't want to spoil it by just saying that I've got this and that and this and that, because then you're going to know, and then you're going to think to yourself, well, I can just talk to myself about that in my head, and then I won't even need to watch this vlog. So I don't want to do that. That would spoil it for you. I don't think people do that, really. I do that sometimes, talk to myself, but I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if it's frowned upon in some societies, but we're done. So, check back soon for more. Most importantly though, happy waiting for Diablo 3. I'm going to be able to say that again because there's going to be 1 or 2 more weeklies before then, but happy that anyway. And happy waiting for the Guild Wars 2 beta weekend. If you guys haven't pre-purchased the game, then you probably haven't seen the game or heard much about it, or aren't really interested in MMOs. So then you can check it out and see if it's for you. There are a bunch of videos on YouTube, or you can just wait till after this weekend, see my videos on Guild Wars 2, and then judge for yourself. See what I think about it, because hopefully, if they've fixed the performance issues, then I'll be able to get some videos out. But that's it. Again, check back soon for more. Most importantly though, happy waiting for Guild Wars 2.